Hello everyone, I'm Junyi Feng, and I'm very honored to be here today to share the research findings on the impact of personalized nutrition interventions on improving nutrition in neurocritical patients. Let me start by explaining why I choose to do this research. As we know, patients in the neurocritical care unit often have very complex conditions. They can experience serious metabolic imbalances and even organ dysfunction, which means their nutritional needs can vary a lot from person to person. However, most of the existing studies focus on fixed nutrition formulas, like using just one standard type of nutritional liquid without really comparing them to more personalized nutrition plans that take individual patients' needs into account. So that's where my research comes in. I set out to compare personalized nutrition interventions with two commonly used standard formulas, Gravity and Glucina, to see which approach is more effective in improving patients' metabolic and nutritional indicators. The goal is simple: to give doctors better evidence-based guidance when choosing nutrition plans, so they can make more tailored decisions for their patients and hopefully help improve outcomes for this high-risk group. Now let's take a look at how the study was conducted. This was an intervention study involving a relatively large sample, 120 neurocritical patients in total. I divided them into three groups, with 40 patients in each: the Gravity group, the Glucina group, and the personalized nutrition group. The intervention period lasted for 14 days or 2 4 weeks. This duration was carefully chosen. It's long enough to observe the early effects of nutritional support while still limiting the impact of other variables. Gravity and glucina, as many of you know, are commonly used in enteral nutrition formulas with fixed nutritional compositions. On the other hand, the personalized nutrition group received a more flexible approach. We also incorporated new enhancing nutrients to better match individual needs. Now let's take a look at comparison of the nutritional composition between Gravity and Glucina. This table provides detailed information from the main categories such as energy, protein, fat, and carbohydrates to the smaller items like various vitamins and minerals. Gravity is more suitable for patients with some gastrointestinal issues who are unable to consume regular food but still need internal nutrition to meet their nutritional needs. Glucina, on the other hand, is specially designed for diabetic patients. Personalized nutrition intervention is particularly suited for patients with complex conditions or multiple nutritional deficiencies, as it can more precisely meet individual nutrition requirements. Now, Now let's talk about how we measured the effects. We focused on a few key indicators: cystatin C, creatinine, the SI value, which compares creatinine to cystatin C, albumin, and hemoglobin. These help us understand the patient's nutritional and metabolic status. For the testing, we used the standard methods. Cystatin C and creatinine were measured with an ELISA test. Albumin was tested using a colorimetric method, and hemoglobin was measured using the cynomethylhemoglobin method. For data analysis, we used the Friedman test and one-way ANOVA, all done in sports software. The significance level was set at p is less than 0.05. Now let's talk about the basic characteristic of the study participants. All patients were neurocritical patients with a common feature of varying degrees of consciousness impairment. Some were in a coma, others were lethargic. Additionally, many patients had swallowing difficulties, which greatly increased the risk of aspiration, posing significant challenges for nursing care. These patients also often had unstable vital signs, such as irregular heart rates, blood pressure, and respiration. Let's first take a look at the changes in cystatin C levels. From the table, we can see that before the intervention, the cystatin C levels were 1.415 milligrams per liter in the Javdi group, 1.507 milligram per liter in the glucina group, and 1.308 milligram per liter in the personalized nutrition group. After 14 days of intervention, the cystatin C levels in each group changed to 1.457 milligram per liter, 1.581 milligram per liter, and 1.359 milligram per meter, respectively. However, statistical analysis showed no significant differences between the three groups. This indicates that whether using personalized nutrition or the two standard formulas, the effect on improving cystatin C levels was similar, with no clear advantages or disadvantages. Next, let's examine the changes in creatinine levels. Before the intervention, the creatinine levels were 59.317 micromole per liter in the Javti group, 60.5 micromole per meter in the glucina group, and 45.371 micromole per meter in the personalized nutrition group. After the intervention, the creatinine levels in the Javti and glucina groups decreased to 51.979 micromole per meter and 53.097 micromole per meter, respectively, while the creatinine level in the personalized nutrition group remained relatively stable at 45.702 micromole per meter. However, data analysis showed no significant differences between the groups, indicating that all three nutrition interventions had similar effects on regulating creatinine levels. Now let's focus on the SI index, which can reflect the nutritional status of patients. Before the intervention, the SI values were 40.954 in the Javti group, 37.741 in the glucina group, and 35.017 in the personalized nutrition group. After the intervention, the SI values decreased to 35.619 in the Javti group, 33.08 in the glucina group, and slightly increased to 34.291 in the personalized nutrition group. The statistical results showed that the personalized nutrition group had a p-value of 0.029 compared to the Javti group, which is less than 0.05. This means that personalized nutrition was more effective than Javti in improving the SI value. Compared to the glucina group, the p-value was 0.064, which didn't reach statistical significance, but still showed a trend of advantage. This suggests that personalized nutrition intervention may have an edge in optimizing patients' nutritional status. Finally, let's look at albumin and the hemoglobin levels. First of all, albumin. Before the intervention, the levels were 33.521 gram per liter in the Jafti group, 34.348 gram per liter in the glucina group, and 34.911 gram per liter in the personalized nutrition group. After the intervention, all their groups showed increases, but the differences between them were not statistically significant. P was greater than 0.05. This indicates that the personalized nutrition intervention didn't outperform the standard formulas in increasing albumin levels. However, when it comes to hemoglobin, the personalized nutrition group showed a remarkable improvement. Before the intervention, hemoglobin levels were 102.424 gram per liter in the Gravity group, 105.824 gram per liter in the Glucina group, and 104.66 gram per liter in the personalized nutrition group. After the intervention, the hemoglobin level in the personalized nutrition group significantly increased to 111 to 111.330 gram per liter, while the Javti and Glucina group had levels of 101.438 gram per liter and 105.395 gram per liter, respectively. With a p-value less than 0.05, this result is statistically significant, strongly suggesting that personalized nutrition intervention has a clear advantage in improving nutrition status, particularly in increasing hemoglobin levels. In short, the study showed that personalized nutrition had clear benefits over standard formulas, especially in improving the SI index and the hemoglobin levels. They suggest this suggests it could play an important role in supporting the nutritional needs for neurocritical patients. However, since there were no major differences in cystatin C and albumin levels, more research is likely needed in those areas. Additionally, patients in the personalized nutrition group had more stable kidney function, with fewer cases of abnormal cystatin C increases. However, it's important to acknowledge the limitations of this study, such as the relatively small sample size, which may affect the generalizability of the results. Therefore, large-scale studies are necessary to further validate these findings. Going forward, future studies could look at more factors that affect nutrition, so we can better understand the full impact of personalized intervention. Overall, personalized nutrition shows a lot of promise for supporting neurocritical patients, and we are excited to see more research that helps make treatment even more precise and effective, ultimately improving outcomes and quality of life. That's it for my presentation. I hope this gave you some useful insight, and I'd love to continue the conversation if you are interested. Thanks so much for listening.